17-year-old Calgary Children's Hospital patient Jillian Oblinus has given one of Canada's Olympic hopefuls some extra inspiration as he heads to the 2014 Olympic Winter Games in Sochi.
I just want to thank you so much for, first coming to visit me and then asking me to do the helmet. It makes me feel like I'm a part of something pretty special and that, I will get back on stage one day just like you got back on the hill. So I'd like to visit you with your Olympic helmet.
Wow.
Slalom skier Brad Spence will compete in the Games wearing a race helmet that features a Russian-style design hand-drawn by the teenage cancer patient. Spence suffered a potentially career-ending injury in 2006, but after a long and difficult recovery, was able to compete in the 2010 Winter Olympics. He met Jillian while visiting the hospital to share his story. Oblinus, a promising dancer who is suffering from a form of cancer called osteosarcoma and is currently undergoing chemotherapy at Alberta Children's Hospital, was inspired by Spence's courage and perseverance in recovering from his injury.
The first time he came was right after my leg surgery, and it was a pretty big surgery. I had my knee, my femur, and my hip all replaced, and so I couldn't really walk, I couldn't really do anything, so I was pretty frustrated. And when Brad came, he kind of, told me about the Kleenex and what his whole journey, getting back onto skis were. And it was just really, really inspiring because I was kind of like, well, if he can do that, then maybe I can do that. Maybe I can get back on stage again someday and, learn how my new leg works, just like he got to learn how his works too, so.
Being put in that situation is something that I couldn't imagine, and to see her smile every time I came in and just, she was able to put a smile on my face. So, I came back a couple times when I was around Calgary, which doesn't seem to be too often these days. And I brought her a toque from Alpine, Canada to help keep her head warm when the weather started to turn. And one of the times I was in visiting her, she'd just had one of her lung surgeries, and she was sitting there with a pen in her hand and a blank piece of, well, it started as a blank piece of paper, and she was just doodling. And her doodling to me looked like one of the most incredible things I'd ever seen, because when I try to doodle, it looks sort of like a stick man and almost like a circle.
Over the past couple of months, Oblinus has designed the helmet using Sharpie markers and a technique called Zen doodling, taught to her by an art therapist at Alberta Children's Hospital.
He actually asked her to do it, so when he asked her, she just immediately said yes, it would be something fun to try. He just did it off the top of her head. She didn't plan it. She would just sit down and start doodling. She incorporated the colors of the medals, the silver, gold, and bronze, as part of the Olympic part of it, but it just honestly came out of her head.
Oblinus and Spence have developed a mutual respect and given each other a different perspective on facing their own challenges.
Knowing how much Jillian has had to overcome, and the message that I've learned from her is to never give up. There was a lot of days in my career where I questioned giving up, and even this year I've battled some injuries as well, and that looming thought in the back of my mind always helped me believe that I could do it, having known her and seeing what she's done. So she's been a huge inspiration to me, and I'm just so honored to have this opportunity.
It's really exciting for me to know that something like I did, something that I drew, is gonna get to go to Sochi, get to be worn by someone as amazing as Brad, and then millions of people also get to see it. So it's just really special for me.
I'm so proud of her, that she's gone through so much and that she's still got a smile on her face. She's smiled all the way through, and that she's getting some recognition for who she is and what she can do.